one of the big things that struck me early on when I started at Hockey Canada, late 80s, early 90s, was when Erka, I think, was the first guy to come over on the coaching exchange, and he stayed for a year working with Hockey Canada. And then, the Czech fellow, Tom, who was the Czech fella who was here after Richard? Somebody will know his name. Wally, somebody.
Slavo Lener.
Slava, right? Slava. So Slava came over and replaced. Didn't replace Erka, but took the role. And then Slava ended up staying on for a couple of years as an assistant with the Flames. So
he worked with UFC too 1 year because he was with us when I was with Willie.
Yeah, he was good. He got out in the community there and was trying to help out. And I think the big thing with those guys was what I learned from them was the importance of transition. And I think Richard held up the one manual there, the green one. I think that was Slava's. I think Erka's was the blue one. Like I was a guy who put all that stuff together for Hockey Canada, and so it was very fascinating to work with those two guys on their approaches. And a couple of things that really came to mind was Erka was always about one puck. He was always saying, only use one puck. That's all you need in practice. Got to mimic the game. If you're not mimicking the game, you're wasting your time. And I think the other thing was the intentionality of practice and understanding how often things occur in practice. So what Richard was saying is when he asked the coach, how many times does a 3-on-2 happen versus whatever, it's knowing what are the most commonly occurring elements in a game, and then trying to structure your practice to reflect those, commonly occurring opportunities and practice them, as competitively and realistically as you can to mimic the amount of time that, typically it'll happen in your level, your league, your play, because that's ultimately then going to be the most efficient and effective use of your practice. So I guess that would be my contribution to the conversation.
Yeah, Erka brought me to Finland, I think 3 summers to run. I was a head instructor of their national hockey school in Viramäki. And, it was a lot of the stuff was his stuff. I was doing the transition games. So that's why he brought me there.
Okay, all of us understand what you're saying, Dean. I'm not sure average coaches are going to appreciate it and understand the nuances, but I'm going to try to bring a practical bent to what everybody's saying. When you say, it's only one puck, well, that's the opinion. Yeah, the game is one puck. Richard mentioned 3 pucks. And then you got 2, and then you got 1. Well, there's thinking involved, which might happen in a game, which is going to help them in a game. So they're both right. And I think that's the most important thing. I'm going to use an example here of games. You fight for a puck. You battle. And I see some young players not competing, not working hard. So I have a drill. 1 bull in the ring, 1 with a puck, 1 without. You can have a little football pushing dummy, and you try to drive them out or make them lose the puck. It's a battle. Oh, what's it got to do with hockey? Well, you've got to be strong on your skates. You've got to be evasive with your skating. You've got to make contact. So that's what I mean about a deliberate repetition of a competitive battle drill. And as Dave King did years ago, he taught progressively puck protection, free puck races, and those things are important. But coaches as a whole aren't versed at doing that. And that's the balance that I struggle with. And I find if I can't get coaches to do the teaching things, the game things, the simpler the better, the more they're able to imply constraints, introduce constraints. They may not interpret their purpose, but just playing simple games, it's going to work. John, any comments? We'd sort of interrupt you when you were talking there, but I'm just trying to come back to the confusion I face with coaches, mentoring coaches. Tom's the game-like guy that teaches, and the other coaches are different at his level. They're all good, excellent in their own way. The bottom line in assessment and evaluating them is, are the kids having fun? Do the kids want to come back to the rink?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are they getting results? Because the results and the outcome, in the end, are a product of your coaching and your influence and motivation to teach the tactical play involved.